Every step we take, every breath we make, brings us closer to death. Seneca. That's the sentence that will make 3/4 of the people who clicked on this video leave. And you know what? I'm totally fine with that. I'm not crazy. I'm just filtering. If you're still here after Seneca's words, it means you're not scared of the harshest truth and that it's possible to talk seriously with you. Think about this. Getting out of bed, holding a coffee in your hands, working, spending money, planning a trip, these could just be elegant moves in a distraction game, created to avoid facing the fiercest truth. You're heading toward the end. No matter how much you ignore it, the heart that's pumping blood right now will stop. And yet we keep moving as if this countdown didn't exist. We are organisms designed to resist, biological machines that fight by all means not to switch off. The body is a stubborn warrior. It fights a battle you don't command, and it does so every single day. It repairs tissues without asking permission, clots blood when you're wounded, triggers fever and antibodies while you sleep. Richard Dawkins, evolutionary biologist, said, "We are survival machines, robots created to protect genes." Think of someone trapped under rubble for days, or someone who falls into icy waters and keeps fighting for hours. It's not conscious will. It's a blind and fierce instinct. Even those who decide to end their life, in their final moments, often find themselves fighting against the survival instinct. The body doesn't know the word surrender. It doesn't care about philosophy, faith, hopes. It just wants to hold on as long as there's energy to burn. And yet, resisting without meaning would be torture. To bear this blind programming, humans create stories, religions, myths, monuments, children, books, works of art. Acts not always born from courage, but often from fear of absolute silence. Pulitzer Prize winner Ernest Becker argued that awareness of death is a slow poison. Knowing that everything will end drives humans to invent worlds where the end doesn't exist. Because admitting that everything disappears means admitting that nothing matters. It's this fear that pushes you forward even when pleasure fades and exhaustion crushes you. If the Earth exploded tomorrow, the universe would keep expanding. Stars would be born and die. Cosmologist Carl Sagan writes, "The universe is not obliged to make sense to you. The naturalistic view is clear, logical, and cold. It leaves you suspended in an indifferent universe with no plan for you." And yet millions of people live like this, convinced that life is a cosmic accident without direction. It's the harshest reading, and paradoxically, the most common in scientific circles. But this is not the only possible view. Imagine living without even a shred of fear of the end. Wouldn't that be magnificent? What if death didn't exist? What if the end of the body didn't coincide at all with the end of everything? With these questions, we lose another group of viewers, because we're entering a level not everyone wants to face. Some prefer to stay in the safety of what they already know. But if you're still here, maybe you're ready to look further. The search for meaning has produced visions worth genuine attention. One of these, powerful and ancient, is that of Buddhism. We are not isolated entities, but waves of an infinite ocean of existence. Each life is a temporary form of eternal energy, and to die means to change form, not to vanish. Sadhguru, certainly a controversial figure, but whose words I admit a soft spot for, says, "You are not a small life lost in the cosmos. You are a living part of the cosmos itself." And of course, there's more. Quantum physics confirms that matter is condensed energy and that nothing is created or destroyed. Everything transforms. If this perspective takes root in you, then death is not a theft, not the disaster of all disasters, but a return. It's like leaving a suitcase after a trip. The body stays here, but the essence flows back into the current. This view doesn't deny the pain of separation, but it transforms it. Detachment becomes a passage, not annihilation. Living with this awareness means stopping seeing death as a robbery and starting to see it as a change of state, inevitable and natural. The mind, however, hates the void and clings to stories. That's why we invent bridges over the abyss. Tolstoy, for example, found an anchor in faith when life had lost its meaning. But true strength is not believing in a tale out of fear of nothingness. It's looking death in the eyes and understanding there's nothing to fear because you have never been separate from the whole. This freedom is non-attachment in Buddhist philosophy. Quantum physics tells us that every particle is connected to all others by invisible fields, a web of connections that goes beyond time and space. Sadhguru adds a powerful image. We are like neurons in a cosmic mind, participating in its intelligence even without knowing it. To die, in this view, does not mean to disappear, but to stop functioning as a single neuron and return to being the whole mind. And if it were really so, then the fear of death would be nothing more than a side effect of ignorance about what we are. Understanding turns everything upside down. You don't want to die, not because the end terrifies you, but because you confuse your temporary self with the real one. The first, body, name, story, has an expiry date. The second, energy, consciousness, part of the whole, does not. If you embrace this vision and feel it resonate within you, death becomes as natural as being born. So why can death not scare you? If you follow the materialist view, you are a prisoner of a blind biological program pushing you to prolong life at any cost, and death is an inevitable nightmare. But if you open your mind to a broader perspective, here we've explored a few, but there are many others, you discover that death is not an enemy, because in reality we do not die. We are part of the universe. We are energy, we are consciousness. And energy doesn't die, it transforms, as quantum physics says. And your true nature knows no end, as Buddhism and Sadhguru say. And you, who have made it to these words, what do you think? What's your view? Let's meet in the comments, because exchange generates knowledge, and knowledge sets you free.